So my credit card saw a lot of usage back then. Minasan, konnichiwa, squishy toke, yokoso! In today's video, I'm going to be talking about long distance relationships because I was in one. So if you like videos like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. And let's get into it. So Taro and I were in a long distance relationship for over a year. So during that time I was living in the UK and he was living in Japan. And honestly, it wasn't that bad. I feel like long distance relationships have quite a bad reputation. I think most people are told that if they're in a long distance relationship, it's probably not going to last. But Taro and I, it was easy for us, really. We always had a plan. So we always had a flight booked, so we knew when we were next going to see each other. And we took it in turns. So I would go to Japan and then he would come to the UK, and we take it in turns like that. So it was never really one person doing all of the work. And then obviously we very quickly came up with a date when we would no longer have to deal with a long distance relationship. But honestly, it wasn't that bad, at least for me. We'll ask Taro in a minute. But I spent most of my time working, and then on the weekends I'd hang out with my dad or my friends, and we would always plan to video call each other. But again, we weren't crazy strict with it because I think that adds a lot of pressure. So we'd plan to video call each other on the weekends, but if one of us had to do something else, whether that be a plan or suddenly, we wouldn't hold that against each other. We wouldn't get angry or stressed about it because life is unpredictable. And so I think that helped a lot. And even though we're married and we live together now, we still do like our own time. We have our own hobbies that we like to spend time on. So I think we just have personalities like that anyway, where we don't mind being alone for a while. But yeah, let's ask Taro what he felt about the situation. Okay, so Taro, how was the experience of a long distance relationship for you?
Okay, so it was okay. There were pros and cons. And at the time, I was busy, right? I was working and I was working out in the gym, and I was crazy about being more muscular.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of things to do, by myself. So I could enjoy my own time thinking I can go to London and see her next month, or, even though we have like time difference or something, like 8 or 9 hour time difference. But that was good experience, I would say, because now we live together.
So you've made a really good point, actually. I think the worst part about being in a long distance relationship is the time zone. I feel like the time zone between the UK and Japan is just so awkward, because then if you include daylight savings, it can be an 8-hour difference or a 9-hour difference. And that's why really for us to video call each other, it really could only happen at the weekend, because during the week we were both working and the time zone was just, it was horrible. Although I think for us, a long distance relationship was relatively easy compared to a lot of other people's experiences, I would say it is still hard. I mean, it was easier for us compared to what other stories I've heard, but it is still hard because you do miss that person, and sometimes when you have a really bad day, you just want to be with them. But yeah, I feel like we're so lucky now to be together. And also I'm just really glad that we had our long distance relationship at a time when travel was easy, because now, it's not so easy. And I think that affects a lot of people who have to be in long distance relationships, and I really feel bad for them. But I think we were just lucky. We managed to make it work to our lifestyles. And again, with what Taro said, we would always be thinking about when we would see each other next, and that excitement kind of made the long distance relationship easier, because like I said, we always had a flight booked, we always had that plan to see each other. So the next thing I want to ask Taro is, how did you feel when we would have arguments but we were like far apart? What was that like for you?
That was so annoying because if we live together, like we could meet and we could argue and we could solve the problem together,
Yeah.
right? But what we could do is just like texting.
Yeah.
It is very hard to communicate well compared to talking to
Yeah.
in person, right?
I don't remember us arguing that much while we were in a long distance relationship. I feel like we argued the most when we first started living together because of like cultural differences that we didn't even realize were cultural differences and things like that. I would say we argue the least now, right? Like the last 2 years, we've argued the least we ever have. But I feel like when we were in a long distance relationship, like we're probably only arguing about this because we can't see each other. I felt like at some points not being able to see each other got frustrating, and that's why we would end up arguing. But I remember times when both you and I would actually say that as well. We would like send a message and say, I feel like this argument is only happening because we can't see each other. And then we'd kind of both get sad. We'd message each other like, oh, I wish I could be with you right now, and then none of this would be happening. I don't know, that was how I felt, but what did you feel?
So what's funny is like I could tell if you are mad or not by texting. There was angry vibe from the text. So I was like, every time I got such a message, I was like, okay, let's wait. Let's just wait to message her. Let's make her have like, her own time.
First of all, it's crazy that you could tell when I was mad just through texting, because there are people I've known for years that can't tell that. So already I know how well you know me. But yeah, I think that was another important thing. We kind of respected each other's time in a sense where if I sent you a message and you didn't reply, I would just go, oh, he's busy, it's fine. And I think you felt the same with me. Whereas I know people that would probably be like, why isn't he replying to me? And don't get me wrong, I can be like that too. And I'm sure you're like that with me sometimes as well. But when we were in a long distance relationship, there are so many other things to consider. And I think the other thing that was helpful too is I would always tell you my plans. So like I would say, oh, this weekend I'm doing this thing or I'm doing that thing. And you would always tell me your plans as well. So that way, if I texted you and you didn't reply, I would be like, oh yeah, it's fine because he's doing this. So I think that was important as well. Like we really tried to close the distance between us by including each other in our lives, right? So if I'm always telling you what I'm thinking, what's going on, how my day was, and you're doing the same with me, it almost feels like we're not that far apart, because then you could ask me, oh, how was this thing you did? And I'd ask you, oh, how was seeing your friends? So I think that was really good too.
Yeah, you're right. I think I want to say that I didn't feel like we lived far, because we always share everything, right?
Yeah.
That brings you back to the memory, right?
Yeah.
Now, here we are.
I think it went by really quickly. I remember like at the time thinking, oh my god, like this is gonna take forever. But the job I had at the time, I really enjoyed as well. And I think, like I said, where we were always looking forward to the times when we would see each other, because we'd always book flights. Like we would see each other and then a few weeks after we'd returned home, we'd have booked the next flight already. So my credit card saw a lot of usage back then. But yeah, that helped time just go so quickly because we were just looking forward to the time when we would see each other again. And so it just flew by. All right, I have a great question for you. Would you do it again?
Hell no.
Yeah, I agree. I would not do that again at all. Like I said, although we were lucky and it was easy for us, there are so many points where I think it could have very easily gone wrong. And I think we were just lucky with the way that we both handled it.
That was a good experience,
Yeah.
Yeah, but never again though.
Never again. Never again. Okay, so that is the end of today's video. Thank you so much, Taro, for using your time today.
Anytime.
So yeah, let us know what you think in the comments section below. Have you ever been in a long distance relationship and what was that like? Let us know. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.